Hey guys, it's Jake, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the rare mobs that can spawn around the sanctuary while you're doing open world content. These mobs can drop items that have a power level up to 840, which is really good. So if you're looking for an upgrade for some of your gear, then this is definitely the video for you. I'm going to go through all these potential drops really fast. I'm not going to get super in-depth in it. I'm just going to show you where they are, show you the item, and then we're just going to move on to the next. It's going to be super fast. And I will give a quick warning before this starts that if you're doing this on a hardcore character, you might have a pretty hard time with some of these mobs, as they are no joke. I learned that the hard way. But aside from that, let's just get right into the video. The first item we're going to talk about is the Staff of Elemental Command, which is a sorcerer drop. It's a two-handed staff, and you can find it in the Seat of the Heavens location in Fractured Peaks, which is right here on the map. The enemy you're going to be fighting here is a duplication sorcerer that can summon two clones of itself while you're fighting him, and he does fire attacks. The next item is going to be the Mace of Blazing Fuhrer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but basically it's going to be a barbarian drop, and it's going to be in the Pallid Glade area in Fractured Peaks again. And this is just going to be a tank enemy that you're fighting basically that also shoots fire at you. Moving on, also in the Pallid Glade area in Fractured Peaks, again right here on the map, is going to be the Ring of Splintered Wood. So this is just going to be a general ring, and you're mostly going to be fighting a tree enemy here that can inflict poison damage, and it also spawns spiders. Our last Fractured Peaks drop is going to be the Dark Blade, which is just a sword, and it drops in the Frigid Expanse location just north of the main town, again right here on the map. And the enemy you're going to be fighting here is just going to be a general knight that deals shadow damage and again can summon clones of himself. Moving on, we actually got ourselves an amulet here, the Blind Man's Bell, which is going to drop in the Shrouded Moors location in Skazgland. This enemy is going to be a vampire that only spawns after you kill every enemy in the area, so you got to clear the area first for him to spawn. The next drop we have up here is going to be the Manhunters breeches, which is a pants drop for the druid specifically. It's going to be in the Downs location in the Skazgland area, obviously, right here on the map. And the enemy you're fighting here is going to be the Butcher of Karagar, which only spawns at night, and you also got to look out for him transforming into a werewolf once he's at half HP. Next up, we have the Outcast Ham Wraps, which is a glove drop for sorcerers, and you can find this guy in the Highland Wilds right here on the map. This is probably the easiest enemy to kill, to be honest, because he won't even attack you. You can just kind of walk up and kill him. So there you go. So next up, we have our first Necromancer drop. It's going to be the Blood Cursed Band, which is a ring, and it spawns in the Deep Forest, which is kind of like bordering between Skazgland and Dry Steppes, which is right here on the map. And the enemy you're going to be fighting here is a summoner that can obviously summon minions throughout the fight. Moving on, we have another barbarian drop, which is going to be the Infernal Edge, which is a two-handed sword that drops in the Scarred Coast, which is right here on the map in the Dry Steppes area. The enemy you're fighting here is an enemy named the Duke of Shadow, and he's basically a massive enemy that only spawns at night yet again. He has two forms though. One's going to be a human form and one's going to be a demonic form. He turns into a human once you beat his demonic form. Moving on to the Necklace of Inevitability. This is an amulet that can drop in the Kargai Crags, and you get it by fighting an enemy that can both wall and teleport. Next up, we have Gur's Freezing Armor, which is a chest piece which can drop in Chambatar Ridge, again in Dry Steppes right here on the map. And basically this is going to be a frost mage that can basically do cold enchant attacks. Moving on to Bloodspillers Helm, which is going to be a helmet for the barbarian. It's dropped in Untamed Scarps, which is right here on the map, and you're going to basically just fight a tanky enemy here. Nothing too crazy, just a tanky enemy. Moving on to Kyrgyzstan here, the first drop we're going to talk about in this location is going to be Kin's Captivating Eye, which is dropped in the Southern Expanse right here on the map. And basically what you're going to want to do here is there's going to be an NPC named Priestess Kin, and you're just going to want to talk to her a few times, and then eventually she'll transform into a succubus, and you just got to kill her. Next up, we have the Wand of Abe Marie, and this is going to be a drop in the Amber Sands area right here on the map, and basically you're fighting a ghost that will come out of a nearby statue. Next up, we have the Grotesque Loop, which is a ring dropped in the Amber Sands area again right here on the map, same place as last time. And basically this guy is just a bloater enemy, like, you know, you see a lot of them, so Nothing too crazy there. Next up we have the Broodmother Stinger, which is going to be dropped in the Ragged Coastline. This is a dagger, and it's going to be dropped by this big scorpion that deals a lot of poison damage. Moving over to Hauser, we're going to talk about the Captain's Ragged Boots. This is going to be a boots drop that's dropped in Blightmarsh right here on the map, and you're basically just going to be fighting a skeleton that has a barrier ability. Moving on, we have the Eye of Endkill, which is an amulet dropped in Rotspill Delta, which is right here on the map, and the trick with this enemy is to find the cultists that are in front of a statue. Once you get up to the statue will come to life, and you just have to kill it. Moving on to the Trembling Ring now. This is going to be a ring that drops in Fethis Wetlands. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but basically you're going to be fighting one of those like parasite enemies that spawn like those little flies, basically. I don't really know what they're called, but basically it just keeps repeating and reviving until you permanently kill it. And our last drop is actually going to be the Haunted Crossbow, which I believe is the first rogue drop that I'm talking about here. It's going to be a crossbow, and you get it in the Dismal Foothills, which is right here on the map. And basically to get this drop, you're going to have to kill 2 enemies. First, you have to kill Rendane. Once you kill him, an enemy named Claudia will appear. Once you kill both of them, you will get the drop. Or, well, you'll get the loot. You might get the drop. And that's going to be it for the video. There's a lot of rare enemies out there in the open world that even I didn't know about until I did some research for this video, obviously. Let me know in the comments if you've actually gotten any of these drops from these enemies, and until next time, I will see you guys later.